Now let's face it, if you're after an affordable tablet around that £100 price point, you're not exactly going to be drowning in choice. In fact, your biggest conundrum is going to be which version of the Amazon HD tablet do I buy? Is it the 10-inch version or the 8-incher? The all-new Fire HD 8 just came out, the fresh 10th generation version ready for 2020. It'll cost you £90 direct from Amazon, or alternatively you can pick up the Fire HD 10 for 150 quid. So there is quite a price difference between the two, as well as the obvious size difference. And then the choice is further complicated by the fact that the Amazon Fire HD 8 also comes in a Plus version for a little bit of extra cash, which packs in some extra RAM for improved performance and wireless charging support too. So what I'm going to do is run through all of the differences between the Fire HD 8 and the Fire HD 10, so you know which Amazon tablet might be best for you. And for more on the latest greatest tech, please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! So the most obvious difference between the two is of course the dimensions. The Fire HD 10 is definitely a lot taller and a bit wider than the Fire HD 8. That's why it's particularly compounded by these really thick bottom and top bezels here on the HD 10. Although that said, the Fire HD 10 certainly isn't any thicker than the HD 8. They're both pretty chunky monkeys. And of course this size difference also means a big weight difference between the two Amazon tablets as well. 355 grams for the Fire HD 8 versus 504 grams for the HD 10. You'll certainly feel like you're getting a bit of a workout when you're watching an extended Netflix session with this thing. So if you're going to get something for the kids, I'd say go for the 8-incher rather than that 10, otherwise they're going to be struggling a bit. On the other hand, if you want something to build the old biceps during lockdown, then by all means go for the Fire HD 10. And no matter your choice of size, you will get a selection of 4 different colours: black, white, twilight blue, or this rather charming plum model. And when it comes to the software and the user interface, then basically it's the same experience on the Fire HD 8 and the Fire HD 10. It's running Android 10, but on top of that is Amazon's own Fire OS. And what this does is it has a very strong emphasis on Amazon's own services, unsurprisingly. So for instance, if you've got a lot of Kindle books, you can fast access those via the book section. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get access to the Prime Video selections here in the video section. Of course, you've got direct access to the Amazon online store for picking up more random tat to clutter up your house with. You got Amazon Music, you got good old Audible for your podcasts, all of that shenanigans. So how much you enjoy the Fire HD tablets is basically directly linked to how much of that Amazon Kool-Aid you chug on a regular basis. Don't stress if you don't buy into the whole Amazon infrastructure though, because you're not wholly reliant on their services. You do, however, have to use their app store to download apps unless you're willing to do a whole bunch of sideloading of the Google Play Store, which frankly is rather complex if you're not used to that sort of thing. But don't worry, dive into that app store. You've got full access to the likes of Netflix, Disney+, BBC iPlayer, a bunch of non-Amazon services. And another advantage, another great feature with both the Fire HD 8 and the Fire HD 10 is the fact that they offer full voice support for Amazon's assistant. I'm not going to say her name because if I do, a bunch of your smart devices may suddenly kick into life and start listening. You can turn this feature on or off depending on whether you prefer your privacy or that Alexa support. And then all you got to say is, what's the weather going to be like?
17 degrees Celsius with partly sunny skies.
Now, of course, you get a different size of display on both of these tablets as well. It's an 8-incher, unsurprisingly, on the Fire HD 8, although it is actually a 10.1-incher on the Fire HD 10. I guess Fire HD 10.1 didn't sound quite as catchy. They both use IPS technology, so you get respectable contrast and fairly punchy colour reproduction, but don't expect anything special. These are definitely budget tabs. That said, I definitely found that the Fire HD 10 produced slightly warmer, more attractive to the eye colours. At least that was just my own personal impression. The Fire HD 10 also serves up crisper visuals as well. You get a full HD resolution on here, 1920 by 1200, compared with the basic HD display of the Fire HD 8. That's 1280 by 800. That said, the difference in the screen size means there's not a huge difference in clarity. What you get is 189 pixels per inch here on the Fire HD 8 versus 224 on the Fire HD 10. You can definitely notice the difference between the two when you're watching side by side. And I'd say if you're going to be watching a lot of Netflix, Disney+, whatever, then try and upgrade to that HD 10 if at all possible. That said, the Fire HD 8 is still absolutely fine if you just want to kick back with the occasional show, and both of them have quite a punchily bright display as well, so you can clearly see what's going on outdoors, which is great. And both of these Fire HD tablets have built-in speakers along the top edge as well, with full Dolby Atmos support as well. You get a reasonably good bit of audio quality out of them. Otherwise, you've got a headphone jack and full Bluetooth support too. If you want a tablet for doing a bit of Skyping, Zooming or whatever with friends, family, loved ones, the good news is that both of these Fire HD tablets have a built-in 2-megapixel webcam around front. If you're holding them in portrait mode like so, it's up top here on the Fire HD 10. It's actually around the side here on the Fire HD 8. So this bad boy, it's best to hold it like so in landscape mode when you're doing your bit of Skyping. And sure, the camera quality is rather cack, as you'd probably expect from a budget tablet, but let's face it, as long as you haven't got the sun directly behind you or you're literally sat in a dark room, it'll do the job absolutely fine. And you've also got a 2 megapixel rear camera as well for taking general random photos and video if you want to, although frankly, do not do that with a tablet because it's a bit weird and awkward anyway. And when it comes to the performance, the Fire HD8 and the Fire HD10 are both powered by a MediaTek chipset. However, it's a quad-core chipset here on the HD8, whereas it is a octa-core chipset on the HD10. Don't worry if that means absolutely nothing to you. What it basically boils down to is the Fire HD10 is more powerful than the Fire HD8. So you'll find that the everyday performance is that little bit smoother, apps load that little bit quicker. That said, the fresh new 10th generation 2020 version of the Fire HD8 has at least had its RAM boosted to 2 gigs, the same as the Fire HD10. So I found that basic games like Candy Crush ran absolutely fine, and the general everyday performance is alright. There's not much in the way of stuttering or stammering. And if you're really bothered about performance, if you are going to be using the tablet to play a lot of games and things like that, then you might want to upgrade to the Fire HD8 Plus, because that packs 3 gigs of RAM compared with 2, so it's a bit more handy. Now, if you want a tablet to keep you entertained on those long plane journeys and the rest you're going to be downloading a lot of Netflix or a lot of games and apps and things like that, well, both of these tablets sport 32 gigs of storage as standard, not very much at all. You can upgrade to 64 gigs for an extra 30 quid with both options though. The good news is that both of these Amazon tablets support micro SD memory cards. Just slot one of those inside and then you can download your Netflix shows and all that kind of stuff to that instead. Of course, the fresh new Fire HD8 2020 supports micro SD memory cards up to 1 terabyte in size. The Fire HD10 in comparison only supports micro SD memory cards up to 512 gigs, but that's still more than enough space to download entire series box sets of all of your favourite shows. And frankly, a 1 terabyte memory card these days would still cost you hundreds of pounds anyway, thus negating the whole reason for buying a budget tablet, so it doesn't really matter. Now, last up, the battery life. And both the Fire HD8 and the Fire HD10 deliver almost exactly 10 full hours of battery life when you're streaming video on high brightness. Both these tablets charge up using Type-C USB. You get an adapter and a cable bundled in the box. It's actually faster to charge up the Fire HD10 because it's got a better adapter bundled in there. It takes around 4 hours instead of 5 like the Fire HD8. However, if you upgrade to the Fire HD8 Plus, it comes with a better adapter, which means you also get that 4-hour charge. And if you upgrade from the Fire HD8 to the Fire HD8 Plus, you'll even get support for wireless charging as well. You'll need to buy Amazon's separately sold wireless charging dock. Just plug it into there, well, not plug it in, literally sit it on top, and it'll immediately start to power up. And then it basically turns into, again, a hands-free Echo speaker. And there you have it. That in a nutshell is how Amazon's Fire HD8 and Fire HD10 stack up. So hopefully that's helped you decide which one might be best for you. Please leave me a comment down below if you've used the Fire HD8, Fire HD10, what you think of them. And please do poke subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a lovely week, people. Cheers.